Well, here we are. Now, look, it's getting grey. It's got to come off. Back to work tomorrow. Ugh. Anyway, I'm not very political. It's not a political channel. This is just my opinion about this political thing that's going on at the moment. One off, but I just feel strongly about it. Now, they're all knocking Tony Blair at the moment about taking us into an illegal war, blah, 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 and all that, and he's become a knighthood. Now, what you've got to remember is the people voted the Labour Party in. So the public voted the party in. However, you know, the voting system, you agree with it or you don't agree with it, but we live in a democratic country, and the Labour was voted in, and the head of the Labour was Tony Blair. And they're knocking him for taking us to war. Well, my opinion on that is he had no choice, really. We are friends of America. America are friends with us. And when we were at war, many, many years ago, the Americans came to our help, to our rescue. So when they were in Afghanistan and the Americans asked us to get involved, asked for our help, we had no choice. If a good friend asks you for help, you help him. That's the beginning and the end and the middle of that. So the British people democratically voted them in, and he was the head of the government at the time. So that was what the government of the day decided. Now, by knocking Tony Blair, you're knocking our squaddies. Now, our squaddies signed up. When you sign, you were working for the Queen and the country. And the country means the politicians and the decisions they've made, the Queen and her heirs and successors. So you sign that you will do, as part of your job as being, a service person, you sign to do what the Queen asks you to do and what your country asks you to do. So for that, I am very grateful for all the squaddies. Now the squaddies, or we say all the service people that went over there and gave their lives for this country because their Queen and their country, their politicians of the day, asked them to go and do it or told them to go and do it. It's cost them their lives, it's cost them limbs. And they were doing a great job. They've done a very good job. In the fact of, all over there were bad people wanting to come over here and do bad things to us. We know that, that's a fact. Just watch the news, what goes on. So if all of those people over there was left alone, and remember, our service people were only shooting at them because they were, and you've seen all the films, they were either handling guns, they were trying to shoot at them. They were killing people. And I know there was a lot of innocent people of Afghanistan has been killed. I had nothing to do with it. Well, that's the price of war. But those people could have said, well, here they are, they could have pointed out the bad people and said, look, we have nothing to do with it. These are the bad people, that's where they are. Let the forces find them and shoot them and kill them. But if our soldiers, and this is what I'm grateful of, if our soldiers and service people hadn't have gone over there and wiped them out, and when I say wipe them out, I'm about the people that were carrying arms, the people that were killing and murdering. We've killed a hell of a lot of bad people over there. A hell of a lot of bad people. Now, if they were left alone and they were allowed to multiply, like rats multiply, they would have been more dangerous. So our service people have done a great job of, rather than letting them come over into this country and do us harm, they have gone over there and eliminated them before they got over here. If that lot that died in the Afghan war hadn't have died and they were still living now, they'd be scheming and plotting and encouraging other peoples to do bad things over here. So by knocking Tony Blair and saying it was an illegal war, you're knocking our service people that went over there and gave their life and their limbs in service of their queen and their country. Their queen as the head of the country, and their politicians, which you lot, the public, that voted them in, and they made those decisions, and the head of that was Tony Blair. So I'm not a great fan of politics, but I'm really, we shouldn't be knocking Tony Blair because the Americans asked for our help or asked for our involvement. And we couldn't. If your good friend for many, many years had asked you for help in a situation, you had to help. Sure. Otherwise, you'd be screwed. So anyway, it's not a very often do we do politics on this channel, but that's my view on that at the moment. Bye all. Now I'm going back to my nuts and bolts and my spanners.